What up, everybody? This video, I'm going to go over the psychology behind referrals. So, really just talk about, like, briefly, I'm not going to go crazy into it, but why it matters, what you need to think about, how they're thinking about it, how the people that people are referring are thinking about it, a little bit more on why to prioritize it, and the things that you need to focus on. So it's going to be a quick one because really we know, right? We get, okay, a referral matters. Clients enjoy working with people that they already know have been vetted. And we enjoy working with people who already know and have been told that we're legit and we do a good job and that our price is worthwhile, where we can skip some of those questions. Now, something I encourage you to think through, though, is one, when you do business with someone like me, maybe even, or with another contractor that you might hire, where do you look? Where do you find them? What works? Now, some of you guys maybe came from Facebook, and if you did, that's was a very, very carefully engineered process. I'm saying Facebook ads. The very, very carefully engineered process to where we put a lot of thought, effort, touch points, automations, as many things as we can do to build authority, to help you see the big picture of what we do, and also to show that other people have worked with us, to kind of tap into the same things we're going to talk about today. But my guess is most of you, when you're trying to find someone to work with, are really just focused on, hey, do I know someone who's worked with them? How can I confirm that? Do I know that they've done a good job for other people? You're really looking for confirmation that it's a safe bet. Sometimes we don't trust ourselves as much as we would like to when it comes to making big decisions. And getting your roof replaced, whether it's through insurance or not, is a huge decision, and it's a big deal, and they have to trust you a lot. So I want you guys to think about, why would someone give you a referral, and then what makes it so impactful, and why they're closing at a higher rate, and why having this as a big piece of your business is really just going to maintain the energy within the company. So the slides that I'm going to go over below are really going to cover the why referrals matter and the psychology, not just they take, but the psychology I want you to take, and then the people that are being referred to take. But first, I don't have slides for why and what do you need to do to get them to be willing to give you a referral. We're going to cover in future videos how to get them to sign up, how to get them to actually take the action that is required. So we'll get to that. But today I want you to think about, like, why would they give you a referral? If you just did a good enough job, so say expectations were here and you hit them here, 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 here. You never went below expectations. Is that enough? Is that extraordinary? Is that something worth talking about? Or is it just you checked boxes? And a lot of us, and I've been guilty of this many times, get so busy in the business that we're focused mostly on just doing enough. We just need to make sure that we don't give them a reason to talk bad about us. We need to just, okay, let's deliver. The work needs to be done. And we have that attitude where we're just trying to get through it. We're just trying to get through it. There's so much to do. And in that situation, it's really hard to prioritize and focus. So from a client perspective, and I'll tie this actually to a you perspective, but from a client perspective, it's not just enough to do okay. You need to do an extraordinary job. And what does an extraordinary job look like to the homeowner? That means really, really good communication. That means a clean job site. That means you do what you say you're going to do, which goes along with communication, but also timelines and really fighting to make sure those are hit. That means making sure that you're trying to anticipate their needs that they might not know. But there's one more that I'm not sure you're going to have thought of. And that one more is you have to tell them how good of a job you did. Now, I know that sounds funny, but they don't know what a good roof replacement looks like versus what a bad roof replacement looks like. They're definitely going to look and say, oh, my curb appeal is way better. I didn't even notice that my roof made my house look the way it did. It looks great now. And they're going to drive up and be like, yeah, that looks good. But there's little things that you might do or that you should be doing that make you better than the average roof installer, or your company's installations better than the average installations. You may use ice and water around different flashings that aren't required, but you always do it. You may use you might do W valley in a specific type of valley rather than the standard weave that people use. You might have upgraded flashing. You might always give upgraded ridge. You may give better materials. You might always be providing them a system from a manufacturer so that they have the maximum warranty abilities. There's all these things that you might do. Another thing is you might keep the job site clean in a way that they don't notice. Something that I love is no one thinks about where they're going to go to the bathroom. The crew, you might bring a porta potty and then tell them, I did this because I didn't want you to have to worry about where they're going. I wanted to make sure they had an easy place to go. So obviously they're going to be out there for a while. I just didn't want this to become a problem for you. So we always just make sure that we bring a porta potty out for our jobs. It's a little expense, but also that's an example of someone getting cues from you as to what's extraordinary and what's not, because they don't know all the factors. They don't know all that you know. They don't know what could go wrong and what won't go wrong. And it's your job to tell them. It's also your job to nerd out a little bit, especially when it comes time to maybe get a referral. Nerd out on the roof. This is your chance to talk about roofing when I know most people in your life outside of roofing aren't super interested. So this is your chance to be excited and to educate and to show people why what you do is best, why you understand ventilation than the average contractor, and that's why you put this here and this here. You never use ridge vent. You only use turbines because of this or in this area. You use this specific metal because other metal tends to fail earlier and rust, like whatever it is. This is your chance to nerd out about it. So that's one thing from a psychology perspective. Like, you have to demonstrate how good you are. You have to be that good. You have to communicate. You have to make sure you're keeping everything clean. But you also need to make sure to show them and educate them on what they should care about and on what little things that you're doing. Show your work would be what your fourth grade math teacher would say, right? Show your work. And make sure that in a non-invasive way, you're showing them what you're doing and all the things that are happening and how on top of it you are. So automations can help with this from a production standpoint, but really it's about like, how are you communicating and how is your team trained to communicate? Because you as the owner, I hope that you don't have to be on every job for the rest of your career. How's your team taught to communicate this? Because a lot of the time that just good enough happens when you're not the one on the job site anymore and your team's just making it. It's not their company because the culture might need to be fixed as well. Or maybe they're just tired and they're just going through the motions. How can you make sure they know what to communicate and how to make sure that the homeowners know that you're doing an extraordinary job? This is expectations. You have to be up here. That is how you can make sure that when it comes time to ask for the referral, that they're most likely to give it to you. That is how you can create reciprocity. Reciprocity basically is like the need, oh, they did something for me, I need to do it for them, right? If they pay you for this and then you do this, there's not much reciprocity that was created, right? You did exactly what they paid you to do. That was an equal exchange. So you have to go up here. They have to pay you for this, but you did this. That doesn't mean spending a bunch of extra money on them. That just means in quality of service and communication. You have to beat expectations in order for them to feel as though they really feel almost obliged to help you. So that's part of it, but also I want you to think of like what that means for your culture, what that means for your team, and how you feel, what energy you bring to the table when you're always trying to go above and beyond. It might be slightly exhausting, but I'd imagine it actually comes from a better place, and you're going to be a little more excited as you're navigating this. Next thing I want to go over is cover some of these things, and you're going to know them, but I really want to talk like in this picture, you just did a roof for this young couple who has a beautiful baby boy. And then this is an older, maybe a retired couple. Where's the most opportunity? These people are searching for a roofer on Google. You just did a roof for these people. Now, you know what the answer I'm looking for, but I want you to do a gut check, because are you actually prioritizing these people? Are you actually trying to take the most opportunity from these people, or are you just trying to get to the next job? Because if you're just trying to get to the next job, a lot of the stuff that I spoke about a second ago is something that you might be missing. You might be just hitting expectations because you're already thinking about the next person. The answer is obviously these folks. This is where the most opportunity is. Now, in order for someone to even do business with you, they need to know, like, and trust you. We've all heard it. Maybe it's cheesy, but it's true. They have to know, like, and trust you. So, in order for them to refer you, they have to still know, like, and trust you after the job is done. Once again, I know I'm saying obvious things, but these things need to be considered. The best referral strategy is doing a really good job, but we can create structure around the delivery and the way to get the most. You guys have to do a good job. I can give you, I guess, some tips and tricks around it, but at the end of the day, this is what you're doing out in the field. This is where the most opportunity is. But these people know, like, and trust you. They did when they hired you. You did a great job. They still know, like, and trust you. This is why it's so important. Before we get to all this, why customers rely on word of mouth 2 to 10 times more than paid media. So I just asked you, like, how do you make decisions? I'd imagine you mostly fall into this as well. Also, if you watch the last video, word of mouth has been shown to improve marketing effectiveness by up to 54%. Why? Because you can spend more to acquire that first customer, and then you get a referral and you cut your cost per acquisition. That's a superpower. That's a huge advantage to have. You just need to make it predictable so that it actually is happening on a normal basis. If it's not happening on a normal basis, then this stat doesn't matter because you're not getting referrals. So customers rely on word of mouth more. These people even probably would normally rely more on word of mouth. They might just be looking on Google as a first step, or they might just not know anybody. They might not know how to post on Facebook or something. These people know, like, and trust you, right? They also likely have a network of people that know, like, and trust them. So they might have a bunch of friends on Facebook in the same area. On Nextdoor, they're probably more of a peer than a solicitor. So they have more authority here. Their awesome little kid, maybe he goes to school and they're friends with some of the parents and even some of the teachers. Maybe they went to high school in the area and they know a decent amount of their friends from high school and maybe even some of their parents, depending on the age. So in this situation, there's a lot of people that know, like, and trust them. What we need to do is get in front of these people because there's a little something called the transitive property. Now, I'm not going to make you search your brain all the way back to middle school or maybe high school to where you were hearing about transitive property. I'll make it easy. Transitive property essentially would be if A knows, likes, and trusts B, and C knows, likes, and trusts A, then C also knows, likes, and trusts B. B would be you, right? So A, customer one that you did a job with. B, you. C, a new potential customer. If A trusts you and C trusts A, then C is likely to trust you. So you are skipping all the steps to generate the know, like, and trust. You have a degree of know, like, and trust that's far greater than anyone else because of this connection that you have. Now we need to find ways to leverage that. Now we need to find ways to get people to make decisions, to do activities that get you in front of these people. And that's what we're going to cover in the next videos. But that's it. We need to understand why this is so important from an economic perspective, now from a psychological perspective. This is a huge, huge opportunity within your business. We just have to prioritize it and focus on it and truly optimize their experience for this. See you in the next video. See ya.